Hello everyone and welcome back. So what some of you may or may not know is I'm part of the 52 game challenge. I did do it last year. I can't remember how many I hit last year, but I hit quite a few. I just didn't do anything to keep a track of it and update it. But I have been doing this year. Now I'm a bit late in putting this video together. This is going to be what I completed in the month of January. Caveat to that, I was off work after having a shoulder operation, so I got to play lots of games in small bursts. So I completed quite a few. What I probably will be doing moving forward is bundling months up and doing probably a quarter. So for the next video you'll get February and March together, more than likely. So what have I completed? Well, first game up is A Plague Tale Requiem. So this is the sequel to the first game, which was A Plague Tale Innocence. You play the two children, the Darun children, and you essentially, it's a kind of an adventure stroke horror type game. The enemy being rats, and the macula, and the rats are scared of light. And essentially you've got to solve puzzles, fight your way around to avoid these rats, etc. It's a really good game. The second one just massively improves on the first, and the first one was fantastic. I completed the first one as part of the 52 game challenge last year. And yeah, so that's A Plague Tale Requiem. Next up was A House of Ashes. So this is one of the Supermassive games, I think it is, that created it. Sort of modern day choose your own adventure, and not so you control various different characters. This one's set in, I want to say, Iraq or Syria, somewhere around those kind of areas. And it's a survival horror game essentially, but it's a sort of choose your own adventure style. It's probably, I've yet to play The Devil in Me. So House of Ashes was probably one of my favourite ones out of the three. So I completed the first two last year, which are Men of Medan, and I can't remember what the other one is, but I completed the first two last year, and then I played House of Ashes this year to get it complete. It's a good setting, interesting storyline, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And then I went on to the original Xbox, and I put in Reservoir Dogs. So I wanted to see what the game was like as compared to the film. And essentially, the soundtrack is very good. It's a very Reservoir Dogs-esque soundtrack, but it kind of fills in the blanks, I guess, of how people got to places during the film. It was okay, nothing special. The driving is atrocious on it. I mean, I don't like driving games anyway, but the driving on this was awful. But for a game of its time, it was playable. I'm happy I've played it, but I don't think I would want to play it again. And then moved on to something a bit fun. I think I was playing this in between playing different games, and I completed Lego Avengers on the Xbox One. So I've already done it on the 360, and I got the Xbox One copy of it, so I thought I would do it on the Xbox One. It is what it is. It's a Lego game using the Avengers characters. I really enjoy the Lego games. Think they're really, really fun. You got a good single player as well as multiplayer if you've got kids. Then I played a platformer that I got as part of Games with Gold, I believe, but I also own it physically, and that was Rad Rogers. And for me, Rad Rogers is missing. It's what's missing from the gaming world at the minute. It's so funny. It's a great platformer, but it's hilariously funny. You play Rad Rogers, a young lad who is taken into a video game. I can't remember the name of the car. You effectively, your video game machine becomes a backpack and is your guns, and you get different powers depending on what you pick up. And all round just great fun. You've got to listen to the witty humour that's in it as well. But honestly, fantastic game. If you've not played it, I highly recommend playing it. I then moved on and played The Quarry. So this is around a similar style of game to the supermassive Dark Pictures anthology games, of which House of Ashes was one of them. It's a choose-your-own-adventure survival horror type game set in a quarry. It's set in a Hackett's Quarry, which kind of is a camp, a children's camp, and the storyline is that it's come to the end of the camp and you're leaving and something happens and you end up having to stay the night. The cast in this is fantastic. It's got Lance Henriksen, it's got Ethan Suplee. So Lance Henriksen was in, he's probably most famous for playing Bishop in Alien. Ethan Suplee was in My Name is Earl. He was also in American History X. It's got David Arquette. Who else is in it? I can't remember her name's escaping me. She was in Modern Family. Glasses. Ariel Winter. She's in it as well, and a few others that are quite, big names. And the storyline is very good. The game itself plays really well. It's another one that I would recommend playing. And then I moved on and played Inside. So Inside is from the makers of Limbo. It's strange, shall we say, it's a horizontal puzzle stroke platform game with a little bit of action in it. Some of the puzzles can be quite difficult on it. You die several times, but it was a very playable game and really enjoyable game. I played Limbo recently. That'll be on next month's video, and I prefer Inside. Inside is a far more polished game. But yeah, again, if you've not played it, I would highly recommend it. We then moved on to playing. We moved on to playing Assassin's Creed Chronicles China. So these are the kind of breakaway from the traditional Assassin's Creed games. The cel-shaded art style, sort of horizontal platformers. It was a horizontal platformer was what I was looking for Inside as well, not vertical. Although there is verticality in it, but anyway. So Assassin's Creed Chronicles is kind of a horizontal platform stroke action game. It's got a weird style to it, but it wasn't amazing. The storyline's good, but not truly Assassin's Creed. It was one of the weaker games that I played in the month, but I still enjoyed playing it. There are two others. You've got India and you've got Russia. I've yet to play those, but I own them anyway, so I'll probably get them played at some point. I then decided I wanted to break it up and move away from Xbox, and I put on Wandersong on Steam. So I've already 1000G'd it on Xbox, but I wanted to play it again, basically. And it's a strange game, is Wandersong. It's a, how do we put this? It's a rhythm music game. All the while you're fighting and you're moving along a level. It's a strange game, but it is very, very fun. It's not a hard game by any stretch. It can be at times, but it's fun, and I really enjoy it. And you're fighting to save the Earth, and you're given this challenge, and you play a bard who sings, and his song is his weapon. Good game, very good game. If you've got the chance to play it. Back to the Xbox One, and I moved on to Sleeping Dogs. So I think I completed Sleeping Dogs on 360, and then I got the definitive edition on the Xbox One. It is, it's one of those games. I tried a few different games in and around this kind of style, and I ended up ditching them because what was the one that I tried to play? Watch Dogs. Ditched it because it gave me a forced driving mission that it was just nigh on impossible right at the start for me, and I just sacked it off. I was bored. But Sleeping Dogs really gripped me. It's a good mix of it's kind of a good mix of everything you would get from a GTA game. It's got some great action, some decent driving mechanics, some good sort of puzzle type elements to it, and it's set in I want to say in Tokyo, because you're part of a Yakuza family. You're playing an undercover cop who's part of a Yakuza. Really good game, and shame I don't think it'll get a sequel, because I believe it was supposed to be something else and then got reskinned to be Sleeping Dogs. I'm sure I don't have that mixed up, but yeah, I would say, get a copy of it and play it. Then I moved on to play another sort of choose your own adventure survival horror style game in The Chant. What can I say about The Chant? It's a good game. It is a good game. Storyline is pretty good. It's not as good as, I don't feel it's as good as the Dark Pictures games, but still very, very good game. How I would say, if you've got a chance to get it, play it. I picked it up just randomly. I think one of the lads had mentioned it. I pre-ordered it and it arrived. I completely forgot to pre-order and it arrived. It's a good game, don't get me wrong, and there's some really good jump scare bits in it. You should just grab a copy of it and get it played. And then a game came out. Oh no, wrong game. I put an indie game on next on the Xbox One. It's on Game Pass, and that's the Road 96. It's a really interesting game in that you play sort of an unknown character, and you meet up with several other characters. It's a kind of a walking simulator type game, but you've got to solve some puzzles and do various other bits and pieces. It's it gripped me. The storyline is very, very good. It talks about governmental corruption and things like that. It's a worthwhile game. I'm not selling it very well here, but if you've got Game Pass and you're in two minds about playing it, it is one I would say, get it played. It's a good game. Then second to last, I moved on and played High on Life. And if you're a fan of Rick and Morty, ignore what Justin Roiland has done and stuff. It is what it is. He's been removed from it, but yeah, High on Life is set is a Squanch Games game, so it's around kind of the Rick and Morty verse. It's a very similar style. All the voice acting's the same as Rick and Morty. It's a great, it's a fun game. You've got to go around collecting these different guns that are actually aliens. Each gun has a different power. You pick up a knife as well, which acts as a grappling hook called Knifey. The humour in it's very, very, very funny if you like Rick and Morty. It can be a bit intrusive, so you've got to try and turn it down if you don't want the voice acting being thrown at you all the time. But yeah, it's a good game. Controversial because of the Justin Roiland thing. I've got a feeling that it might not stay on Game Pass for very long. So if you've got a chance to play it, I'd say get it played. And the last game for the month of January, I seem to have had a pattern here of playing these types of games. It's another choose your own adventure style game. It was the original one, I believe. I may have that wrong. It was the original Supermassives game, one of them, and that was Until Dawn. Until Dawn was a really good game. It's a bit clunky now compared to the newer games. It's a bit slower. The acting, there's some big actors in this as well, I believe. it's not as fleshed out, but what do you expect? It's a lot older of a game, really. It's still very, very enjoyable game. I would say if you're in two minds about playing Until Dawn, play Until Dawn. Yeah, it's a worthwhile game. I got it ages and ages ago, PlayStation 4. It sat on my shelf doing nothing, and when I'd played the Dark Pictures anthology games, I thought, you know what, let's go back to it, let's play it, let's see what it's like, and I did. I'm glad I did, because it is a good game, but like I say, it's a bit more dated, so if you've played the newer games, don't expect it to be as solid and as well-rounded as the newer ones. And that was it. That was the games that I played, that I completed for the month of January. I did play others, like I said, and drop them like a hot stone because they were just not very good, or I didn't get on with them anyway. And yeah, that's it. All that's left for me to do is thank you for watching. I've been the Ink Northerner. I will catch you on the next one.